All right, so tZERO, for those of you who don't know who and what we are, we're a US-based company that has built a secondary trading platform. So recent milestones for us, we successfully issued our tZERO token in October. We open sourced that token contract, which is what Nikki is going to speak to today. And we had account onboarding through Dino Financial Group in early January. The security tokens began trading through Pro Securities in late January. And we are live with that trading, and it is successfully occurring, and we haven't gotten any nasty letters from any regulatory bodies, so we are good to go and grow.
Okay, here's just a basic overview of our platform. Issuance platform is TBD. It's still under development, but eventually we'll have a simple way to issue a token on the tZERO platform using our contract standard. And then we'll have the trading platform, which right now is an ATS, and we're in process of getting our exchange put together, which speaks to the different broker-dealers right now, which is only Dino Financial. This is the basic design of our token. It's a ERC20 base, and then we've built on top of that. We did that for wallet integration issues. Each token has its own compliance contract, which you can have different entities that are represented in there, which points to our registries where you actually put the entities. You can have different rules based on what kind of entity you are. Here's some just little details. Our main thing was being compliant with these Delaware laws, the Title 8, which is a lot of like the KYC, AML, the being able to pull tokens back if they get into someone's hands that maybe become blacklisted.
When we went through our security token offering, there was obviously extensive KYC and investor verification to ensure that they meet federal securities laws requirements from a perspective of an accredited investor. And those two things, accreditation and KYC, was handled by appropriate third parties, including a company that we now own called Verify Investor that provides investor accreditation for federal securities laws purposes. I think that when you cross into secondary trading of our tokens that we've talked about before, and in order to open an account with Dino Financial Group that Kirk had on the slide, you have to pass KYC and accreditation. Again, Dino is a broker-dealer and regulated by the SEC and FINRA. Account holders have to go through KYC and accreditation in order to be able to buy and sell our tokens on a trading platform, which is an SEC-regulated ATM. If you're talking about Delaware standards, I think, the shorthand of it is that there are some provisions, including pending provisions in Delaware, that relate to digital assets that talk about KYC standards that would apply to uncertificated securities that, among other things, are tracked on a distributed ledger register. So, okay. But you're right. Historically, if you get outside of the banking sector and financial services, if you're just setting up a private company and issuing shares to people without having to take money through instrumentalities of depository institutions and other things, KYC wouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind, rightly or wrongly.
Okay, we have our compliance contract, which just regulates the transfer of tokens from one person to another, which we hope in the future we will be able to facilitate peer-to-peer transfers. Right now that is turned off, and you must be whitelisted in our system to be able to transfer, which right now is pretty much deposits and withdrawals from Dino. We have a global registry that anyone who comes onto the tZERO platform will have to put their investors on. Right now, we have things like the investor, the broker-dealer, custodians, but it is completely dynamic. If regulators decide that there's a different entity type that we need to support on the fly, we could get that done just in a few hours.
So in terms of looking forward to 2019, the rest of the year and beyond that, for tZERO, we have the chicken egg problem, right? If you're an issuer, you want to have investors. If you're an investor, you want to have tokens to invest in, right? So we need to focus on growing both sides of that dynamic, as all exchanges will need to do that. We're going to spend the year onboarding more U.S. and international broker-dealers, as well as launching our own. We're going to add additional security tokens to the Pro Securities ATS. So if you have an existing security token that you would like to list on tZERO, please contact us. We go through a review process on that just to try to make sure that.
Currently, the only token trading is yours. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct. The only token currently trading is the tZERO token. So that's our proof case, but now we need more to make that a dynamic market. We want to launch the Boston Securities Token Exchange, that partnership. Some of that will depend on regulators, right?
Do you have any idea of timing for that?
Probably be an Alan
unofficial?
question.
Yeah, maybe I should defer to Alan, but on the roadmaps,
I should mention that I was on the road with Patrick last year.
Okay.
We went to Asia, and I helped actually create the tZERO offering.
got it. So for the Boston Securities Token Exchange, the conversations that we're seeing and the timelines we're laying out internally are usually a couple of quarters out for when we hope that could happen.
Right.
But I suspect, like everything else, it always takes longer than you expected.
Well, I think on top of that's also a learning.
You know.
Because it's one thing to have the intention
Yes.
to bring the future to the present, but then there's going to be the learning of the things that we don't have in place yet that needs to happen in order to bring that vision out. So for me, it's a constant learning process of wanting to do it and then learning what the internal roadblocks might be, because we're coming across issues that we haven't thought about.
Right.
Not technical, but provisional to be compliant.
Yeah, so with the Box JV, there's a lot of active work internally going on, and it's a project with lots of flying back and forth in progress, which doesn't allow me to do a timeline, but it's not just the bullet on the slide that we hope to get
I
to.
should clarify, both of you are in Salt Lake City working for
Correct.
STOM?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we'd also like to facilitate tokenization of securities for folks who want to list in the U.S. market and want to securitize assets. So you can contact us for that. And the last slide here is if you would like to issue tokens, there's our contact information.
Sales at tzero.com. Pretty
That's
easy.
right. We're open for business on issuance. If you want to apply for your token to trade on tZERO, there's another email address there, tokentrading@tzero.com. Our GitHub account is there. Our token itself is open sourced, right? Our token standard. It's an ERC20 token with some customization to it. So if you're looking at what you want to build your token on, it's easiest for us to list a token that uses the contract we already created for the token we're familiar with. But we're working with other standards and other providers to be able to support their token standard as well. I don't know if I can disclose who that is, so I won't. There's a
I've been
couple of
working with
them,
Rob
right.
with the Verified Token Framework from the Millbrook Accords from when we were in New Zealand. And I'm aware of a lot of the technical side that we spoke about publicly. So,
Okay.
That QR code in the corner, if anyone wants to go, that'll take you straight to EtherScan where you can see our token and you can see all the trades that have already happened.
very cool.
Yeah, can I just clarify one thing? So,
Sure.
we've talked about our token platform, which is managed on what's called an ATS, an alternative trading system, which is a platform that is regulated by the SEC. It's operated by tZERO's broker-dealer affiliate called Pro Securities, not tZERO itself, in keeping with our laser focus on regulatory compliance, technology products, and either its broker-dealer affiliates or partners engaging in regulated activities.